Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Behind the Beat. My name is Chris Langan. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Today's drum lesson is going to be on bass drum permutations. Okay, so let's get right into it. You may be wondering, what is permutations? What does that even mean? Well, to permutate means to change the order or arrangement of something. So in this case, we're going to permutate the bass drum. This is a very useful technique for, a lot of beginner drummers that are really having trouble breaking out of that beginner status. You may be kind of just stuck in a rut as far as your beats go. Everything just seems to be always on 1 and 3. You're having trouble shifting that bass drum and playing it in other spots. You may be stuck in, just constantly playing the same groove over and over, something maybe like this. And every time that you try to place the bass drum somewhere else, it throws your right hand off, and it messes up your beat. So, maybe something like... Okay, that's an exaggeration. I'm not trying to make fun, but it is an issue, and a lot of people have trouble with that. So the whole purpose of this lesson is to give you something that you can do to help train yourself to be able to play the bass drum on something other than 1 and 3. Okay? So again, to permutate is to shift. Okay, so we're going to be shifting our bass drum. And the way we're going to do that is what we're going to flow through we're going to flow through 16th notes. We're going to try to play our bass drum on 1, we're going to try to play it on E, we're going to try to play it on and so forth. Okay? Now, each bar is going to be in 2/4. So we're only going to be counting up to 2 in these exercises. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. All right? Now, your right hand on the hi-hat is going to be playing 8th notes. Nothing else. It's going to stay on 8th notes. Your left hand is going to be playing snare drum on beat 2. Nowhere else. So, here's what your hands are going to be doing. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay? We're going to be counting 16th notes for our bass drum. We're going to take it one at a time, and we're going to go right through all of them, all the way from 1 to the of 2. All right? So I'm going to get the metronome set up here. We're going to try this at 80 beats per minute. We're going to start playing the bass drum on beat 1. Now, this is your typical regular rock beat. All right? Here we go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, now I'm sure most of you haven't had much of a problem with that. That's the beat you're used to playing. Now is when we're going to start permutating this bass drum. We're going to move it, we're going to shift it, and we're going to try to do that on all of the placements within 16th notes from 1 and beats 1 and beat 2. All right, so our first permutated bass drum is going to be on the E of 1. So we're going to want to count 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 and. E being our bass drum. Here's what it sounds like. 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 and. Now, if that was a little too fast for you, slow it down. That was 80 beats per minute. If 70, 60, even 50, if that's more comfortable for you, start there. Don't try to fly through this stuff just because you want to be the fastest drummer in the world. The best way to get fast at drums is to practice these things slow. All right? So, that was our first permutation. We played the bass drum on the E of 1. Now, if your hi-hat is jumping and lining up with that, that's something you want to address. You got to keep your hi-hat playing straight eighth notes. And 2, and 1, and 2, and. Okay. All right. Let's move on. So in the next bass drum in order would be the and of 1. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Here's how this one sounds. One and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, that one shouldn't have been too hard for you. It's going to be the E's and the U's that are going to feel a little weird. All right, moving right along. Our next is going to be the of 1. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. All right, and it's going to sound like this. One and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. All right. Okay, guys, we've made it through all of the 16th notes for beat 1. We played 1, we played E, and also Now we're going to move on to beat 2. So, as you already know, we are playing our snare drum on beat 2. So, as you might have guessed, our bass drum and snare drum are going to line right up on this one. It doesn't make for a very good groove, but we're permutating all the way through. So here's how this one's going to sound. One and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay. All right. Moving right along, our next is going to be the E of 2. 1 and 2 E and 1 and 2 E and 1 and 2 E and 1 and 2 E and. So the bass drum now is going to be falling after our snare. Here's how this one sounds. One and 2 E and 1 and 1 and 2 E and. All right. Next in line, the and of 2. This one is going to be also falling right after our snare drum. Here we go. My bad. Sorry. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. One and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. All right, guys. Our final permutated bass drum for today is going to be the of 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and Here's how this one sounds. One and 2 and 1 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 and 2 and All right, guys. As you can see, a lot of these make for really good grooves just on their own. You wanna practice going through all of these. Really, what this is going to do is give you the ability to really play your bass drum in any position in a bar. It's really going to help separate. For those of you that are having that issue where your right hand wants to follow your right foot. This will break you of that. All right? So do check in because this is only part 1. I'm going to do a part 2, maybe even a part 3, just on the bass drum. All right? We're going to double it up. We'll be playing one E, then E and just start building upon what we've already done. All right? Also, I'm going to be doing lessons on snare drum permutations, hi-hat permutations, so that we can really get all of our limbs being able to play whatever we want them to. All right? All right, guys. Well, I hope that has been helpful. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Also, check me out on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, all of that. Also, check out my website. It's www.chrislangendrummer.com, where you can sign up for drum lessons, online drum tracking. If you have any songs or know somebody that has some songs that need drums, I do offer that service. Check out my photos and just some news about where I've been playing and who I've been playing with, stuff like that. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, we will see you at the next lesson.